I'll tell you something. I've always had a curious streak. Even when I was younger, I was always interested in the way things worked, how people thought, and what the world had to offer. So, when I reached my senior years, I didn't see any reason to stop asking questions, exploring new hobbies, or trying to learn new things. And let me tell you, the world is full of things just waiting to be discovered. For example, I decided to take up gardening in my 70s. I'd never had much of a green thumb before, but something about the idea of nurturing plants, watching them grow, and seeing how they changed with the seasons felt like a perfect challenge for me. I started small, just a few pots on the back porch. But before long, I was growing tomatoes, herbs, and even flowers I'd never heard of. The process of learning about different plants, how to take care of them, and watching them thrive was incredibly fulfilling. I was amazed at how much I could still learn about something so simple, yet so life-affirming. And then there's technology. Now, I'll admit, it wasn't always easy. I remember the first time my daughter tried to teach me how to send an email. I thought I'd never figure it out. But curiosity got the best of me. I wanted to learn how to keep in touch with my kids, my grandkids, and friends who lived far away. Today, I can't imagine life without my computer, my tablet, and yes, even my phone. It's not just about the gadgets, it's about staying connected and keeping up with the world around me. Curiosity, at any age, is a beautiful thing. It keeps your mind active, makes life feel vibrant, and helps you find joy in the unexpected. And trust me, you're never too old to keep learning, whether it's a new hobby, a new skill, or just asking questions about the world around you. Curiosity is one of the best ways to keep feeling young, no matter your age. So, don't be afraid to explore, to learn, and to keep your mind open to all the possibilities life still has to offer. When I hit my 70s, I realized something important. My body wasn't as quick as it used to be. The aches and pains were a little more frequent, and I found myself slowing down naturally. But you know what? I wasn't ready to sit in a chair and watch the world go by. That's when I decided that regular exercise was going to be a part of my life, no matter how old I got. I can tell you, keeping my body moving has made all the difference. Now, I wasn't about to join any marathons, no need to push myself that hard, but I knew that simple, consistent movement could do wonders. So, I started with walks. Every day I'd walk around the neighborhood. At first, it was just around the block. It didn't seem like much, but let me tell you, those walks became a routine. Over time, I could feel the difference. My legs felt stronger, my back didn't ache quite as much, and best of all, I just felt better overall. But I didn't stop there. I started stretching, nothing too fancy, just some simple stretches in the morning to loosen up. Stretching became an important part of my day. I learned that it wasn't just about the big muscles. It was about keeping the joints flexible and avoiding stiffness. It felt good to stretch, and it made the day go a lot smoother. I also gave yoga a try. I thought, why not? If others can do it, so can I. At first, I could barely hold some of the poses, but with time and practice, I found it helped me build strength and flexibility that I hadn't realized I'd lost. Yoga is gentle, but it works wonders on your body and mind. It made me feel more connected to myself and the world around me. The best part? Exercise doesn't have to be about breaking a sweat or lifting heavy weights. It's about keeping your body moving in ways that feel good for you. Even a short walk in the park, a little stretching, or a few minutes of yoga can make all the difference. It's not about pushing yourself to the limit. It's about staying active, taking care of yourself, and giving your body the care it deserves. As I always say, the best way to age gracefully is to keep moving. Your body will thank you for it. As I've grown older, I've come to realize that the relationships I've built over the years are the most valuable treasures I have. When you reach your 60s, 70s, and 80s, you start to understand that life is not just about what you accomplish, but about the people you surround yourself with. I've learned that nurturing those connections, whether with family, old friends, or even new acquaintances, makes all the difference in how we experience our later years. One of the most important things I've done in my life is make time for my family. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of life and let the years slip by without truly connecting. But when you're older, you start to realize that it's those family moments that mean the most. Whether it's a Sunday afternoon gathering or just sitting down for a meal together, these are the moments that fill your heart and remind you why relationships are so important. I've been blessed with children and grandchildren, and there's nothing like the joy of watching the younger generation grow, hearing their laughter, and passing on the wisdom I've collected over the years. But it's not just about family. Friends are just as important, and sometimes they become even more of a lifeline as we get older. I've kept in touch with friends from all stages of my life. Some I've known since childhood, others I've met later in life, but they've all been a constant source of support and joy. Whether it's picking up the phone for a quick chat or getting together for coffee, those friendships have enriched my life in ways I can't even describe. In fact, I've learned that friendship is not just about shared history, it's about shared experiences, laughter, and simply being there for one another. Those friendships remind me that I'm not alone, even when the world feels a little quieter. And let's not forget the power of making new connections. As we get older, we might be less likely to make new friends, but I've found that it's never too late. Joining a club, taking a class, or volunteering in the community, these are wonderful ways to meet people and form new bonds. Life doesn't stop at a certain age, and neither should your desire to connect with others. The point is, relationships, whether they're family, old friends, or new ones, are what make life rich and meaningful. They provide us with comfort in times of hardship, laughter in moments of sadness, and a sense of belonging that is irreplaceable. I've learned that the more I nurture these relationships, the more I get back in return. So, don't let the years go by without making time for the people who matter. They're the ones who make the journey worthwhile. As I've gotten older, I've learned one of the most valuable lessons in life. A positive attitude is worth more than gold. Now, that doesn't mean I've been immune to life's challenges. Far from it. I've had my fair share of tough times, losses, and moments of doubt. But I've also realized that the way I choose to look at the world and handle those tough moments has a huge impact on my well-being. It's a mindset, and if you can stay positive, even when things aren't going your way, you're ahead of the game. One thing I've learned as I aged is that life doesn't always go according to plan. People get sick, things break down, and sometimes the world seems like it's not as kind as it should be. But here's the key. None of that should stop you from finding the good in every day. It's all about perspective. I've had days where my body didn't feel right, or the news was all bad, or the weather was miserable, but I made a conscious decision to look for the bright spots. It could be something as simple as a cup of hot coffee in the morning, or a conversation with a neighbor. Maybe it's seeing a sunset, or the birds chirping outside my window. It's those small things, those little moments of joy that I've learned to treasure. And let me tell you, it works. The more I focused on the positive, the more I realized how many blessings I had, how much I had to be thankful for. It's easy to fall into a pattern of thinking that everything is going wrong, especially as we get older. But by intentionally looking for the good, I've found that I have a lot to smile about. The key is to not let life's setbacks get in the way of the beauty that's still there. Even on tough days, there's always something to be grateful for. A positive outlook doesn't just improve your mood. It has real health benefits too. I've found that when I focus on the good, my stress levels are lower, my energy is better, and my overall well-being improves. It doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect, but rather choosing to face those challenges with optimism, knowing that things can, and usually do, get better. So, if you're 65 or 75 or 85, and you're still finding reasons to smile, to laugh, and to see the bright side of life, you're doing something incredible. Keep that positive attitude. It's a powerful tool that will carry you through whatever comes your way. Life may not always be easy, but your attitude can make all the difference. One thing I've always believed is that laughter truly is the best medicine. You see, as we get older, life can sometimes feel a little more serious. There are responsibilities, health issues, and the occasional setback that can weigh heavy on the heart. But I've learned that keeping a sense of humor through it all can make a world of difference. Laughter doesn't just lighten the mood, it also keeps us young at heart, even when the years keep adding up. When I was younger, I never thought much about the importance of laughter. It was just part of everyday life, something that happened naturally with friends and family. But as I've gotten older, I've come to realize just how essential it is to keep laughing, even when things aren't perfect. There's something about finding humor in life's little mishaps that can turn a frustrating situation into something that's not so bad after all. I remember a few years back, I was visiting a friend when I accidentally spilled coffee all over myself. Now, Instead of getting upset or embarrassed, I just started laughing. My friend looked at me like I was crazy, but I said, "Well, at least I'll smell like coffee all day, and that's not the worst thing." We both burst out laughing, and that little moment of humor turned what could have been a messy, frustrating situation into something lighthearted and funny. And that's the power of laughter. It transforms the ordinary into something enjoyable. It doesn't always have to be big jokes or comedies either. Sometimes it's the small, silly things, like a funny story, a moment of clumsiness, or even a good-natured laugh at yourself, that keep us grounded and connected. And don't forget about the people around you. Sharing laughter with loved ones creates bonds that go beyond words. Laughter also has its health benefits. It reduces stress, improves circulation, and just makes you feel good. So, no matter your age, keep laughing. Find humor in the everyday, share a joke, or simply laugh at life's little surprises. It's a habit that keeps us young, both in body and spirit. As I've aged, I've come to realize that one of the most important aspects of living a fulfilling life is continuing to challenge myself. It's easy to fall into a comfortable routine as we get older. After all, we've earned the right to relax and enjoy some peace and quiet. But what I've learned is that staying mentally and physically active keeps the mind sharp, the body strong, and the spirit young. Now, I'm not talking about taking on something impossible or trying to push yourself beyond your limits. It's about embracing new experiences, new knowledge, and new opportunities that stretch you just enough to keep you growing. For me, it started with a simple goal, to try something new every year. It could be a new hobby, a class, or even something as simple as reading a book on a subject I knew nothing about. The idea was to keep learning and exploring. And let me tell you, every new challenge I embraced made me feel alive in ways I hadn't expected. Take cooking, for example. In my younger days, I didn't spend much time in the kitchen, but when I retired, I decided I wanted to get better at cooking. At first, it was just following simple recipes, but before long, I was experimenting with different cuisines, trying my hand at baking, and learning all about the art of seasoning. It wasn't just about feeding myself. It was about learning something new, staying curious, and enjoying the process of improvement. The thrill of succeeding in the kitchen was just as satisfying as any other accomplishment in my life. It's also about challenging myself mentally. I began doing crossword puzzles every morning. It might seem like a small thing, but those puzzles helped me keep my mind sharp and gave me a sense of achievement when I solved them. Even something as simple as learning to play a new instrument or picking up a new language can keep the mind engaged and focused. The key here is to never stop challenging yourself, no matter your age. Find new things to explore, learn, and grow from. It keeps life interesting and keeps you feeling younger longer. As we age, it's easy to become more focused on the past, on what we've done, what we've accomplished, or what we've lost. But I've learned that one of the most important things we can do as we get older is embrace change. Life keeps moving forward, whether we're ready for it or not, and the key is to accept that change is inevitable, even in our senior years. By embracing change, we open ourselves to new experiences, new relationships, and new opportunities, all of which can enrich our lives in unexpected ways. I'll admit, when I first started aging, I wasn't all that excited about the changes that came with it. There were things I used to do without thinking that suddenly felt more challenging, like keeping up with technology or adjusting to my body's new limits. But over time, I realized that resisting change only made things harder. When I allowed myself to adapt, I found that I could still do a lot of the things I loved, just in different ways. For instance, I used to love going on long hikes, but as I got older, the steep trails became more difficult. Instead of stopping altogether, I embraced the change by finding new, gentler trails to explore. Not only did I get to stay active, but I discovered beautiful parts of nature that I'd never noticed before. Embracing change doesn't mean giving up. It means finding new paths and new ways to enjoy life. Even with technology, I initially resisted, but once I embraced learning about smartphones, computers, and social media, I realized they weren't just confusing gadgets. They were gateways to connecting with my family, my friends, and even the world. The key to staying young, both in mind and spirit, is accepting change, adapting to it, and finding joy in the new experiences it brings. Life doesn't stop changing, so why should we? As we grow older, it's easy to focus on what we can no longer do or the things we've left behind. But one of the most important lessons I've learned in my 80 years is that the key to a fulfilling life at any age is to stay open to new experiences and continue to contribute in meaningful ways. Giving back, whether through volunteering, sharing knowledge, or simply offering kindness, keeps us engaged with the world around us and gives our lives a sense of purpose. I didn't always realize the power of giving back, but as I grew older, I found myself seeking ways to stay connected and make a positive difference in the lives of others. Volunteering became a natural choice. It started with small acts of kindness, like helping a neighbor with their groceries or offering to drive someone to a doctor's appointment. But over time, I got involved in local community projects, helping out at the food bank, and tutoring younger folks in areas where I had knowledge to share. These little acts of kindness not only helped others, but gave me a renewed sense of purpose and fulfillment. What I've learned is that giving back doesn't have to be grand or heroic. It's the small, everyday moments of kindness that make the biggest impact. Helping a friend, sharing a story, offering a smile, it all counts. These acts create connections and help us feel like we still have something valuable to contribute to the world, no matter how old we are. So, never underestimate the power of giving back. It's one of the most rewarding ways to keep feeling like a rare gem, someone who still has a purpose and continues to shine bright. As I wrap up these reflections, I want to remind you all that no matter how many years we've lived, it's never too late to live fully. If you're 65, 70, or even 80, and you're still doing these things, staying curious, staying active, nurturing relationships, maintaining a positive attitude, laughing, embracing new challenges, accepting change, and giving back, you are truly a rare gem. You've discovered the secret to living well, and that's something worth celebrating. Life doesn't slow down, but that doesn't mean we can't continue to thrive. In fact, it's the ones who keep moving, keep learning, and keep giving that truly make a difference, not just in their own lives, but in the lives of everyone around them. So, if you're watching this and you're ready to keep living your best life, I encourage you to stick with us. At Elderly Hacks, we're here to share more tips, stories, and ideas to help you thrive at any age. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our community. We've got plenty more content coming your way to motivate you, share practical advice, and remind you that the best years of your life could still be ahead. Keep watching, keep growing, and let's continue this journey together. Thank you for being here, and remember, you're never too old to shine.